This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. All right, that was Tom Cruise and James Corden on stage singing Hakuna Matata from The Lion King. The bit was a part of James's primetime special that aired before his last ever late show. James and Tom also sang Can You Feel the Love Tonight from the musical, as they reflected on Tom's many appearances on the show, including James jumping out of an airplane and being flown in a fighter jet by Tom. On his actual show, James welcomed Harry Styles and Will Ferrell as his final two guests, who played one last round of Spill Your Guts. Will took a bit too much pleasure in eating the bug trifle, which sounds awful. And in another bit, James was woken up by all the other late night hosts who gave him some retirement advice. Take a look at this.
First things first, you can't look like you're enjoying retirement too much.
You're gonna grow a beard. A huge one that says, God spoke to me from a bush.
God did speak to me, and he told me I don't need to be in this bit.
I can't believe they got Letterman. That's amazing. What do you guys think of James ending? James's parents were also in the studio audience. What do you guys think about this end of an era in some ways?
I think you need to know when your time is done, and sometimes that means that you're ending on the highest high. Other times it means that you're ending on the lowest low, and that might have meant that you overstayed. So I think it's something to be said about ending when people are excited and like going to really miss you.
That's true. What do you guys think?
It was a funny ending. It was a bit with all the hosts, all the other hosts. There were some funny bits in there. He talked about, just hosting, and he's like, when you just laugh at other guests that you have on the show because you don't even understand what they're talking about, but you have that laugh, and they all had made that laugh. I don't know. It was a funny little bit. You guys are looking at me like you didn't see the bit.
No.
Yeah. But didn't have the laugh.
That's how I feel every day.
Yeah.
You're all like, what?
Honestly, I dug it, and it's a hard thing to separate. And I really look at this new world of talk show hosts. We saw it with Trevor Noah. People sat in that chair until they grabbed their chest and keeled over. No, I'm not trying to be funny. Once you got that job, that was a job for life. It was like the.
You talking about Biden or the host? Sorry.
Don't do a bang on that.
So, but honestly, I think it really is a bigger commentary on life now, where people understand they're going to have 2 or 3 serious careers throughout their life. And you look at Trevor Noah, who's doing stand-up, who did this, who looks like he's now going to maybe segue into acting or more hosting, whereas this would be the only time you would step down is if your rating slipped.
That's a good
point. And I think him going on top is a way that people will always want to remember the show.
Real quickly, so it says after they did that bit with the host, it says 6 months later, and him and Trevor Noah take off their mask and they're on the Masked Singer.
That is really
It
good.
was funny.
Just so you guys know, James said he's been leaving after 8 years because he wanted to raise his kids back in the UK. So just like you said, another career. We look forward to that. In a serious turn, during his final monologue, James talked about how divisive America has become over the past 8 years. Let's watch it.
Over these past few years, I've watched divisions grow, and I've seen and I've felt a sense of negativity bubble and at points boil over. We are, every single one of us, a work in progress. And just because somebody disagrees with you, it doesn't make them bad or evil. We are all more the same than we are different.
I disagree with that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was like, we about to fight.
I will say this on a serious note. I don't know if I want to hear that. I don't know if I want to hear you're going back to your home country. This is a little bit of the Ozzy Osbourne thing. After, you're going back to your home country with 2 gold dump trunks full of money. So, unless I don't want to hear from you unless you're giving the money back. just remember that always on the show. I don't want to hear everything you have to say until same with the Bud Light thing. All these country guys, they took all that money from Bud Light, all those sponsorships, and now you shoot up all the cans you want, send that money back. That's when I start listening. So I appreciate the message. Yes, we are divided. It's something that's been there forever. It's weirdly something that this country has been built on, and it's what we are. So I think the idea of us not being divided and talking about us coming together is foolishness. Can we stop that?
Well, I also just felt weird because he's not an American citizen. Not that he has to be. I get it. But you're right. He made money in American dollars and is then...
Like, do you think we're going to come together as a country?
Yes. I do. I think the pendulum will come where we can actually bipartisanship again. I know y'all are laughing, but I do think there's hope in the political system.
I'm keeping hope alive.
Thank you, Erica.
Yeah.
Oh,
really?
Thank you.
You have to, Al.
No, you don't.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Adapt to reality.
So you're
No,
nihilist?
you have to. No, you have to. First of all, words and energy. It's all that has power, and I do believe that there is a path to some sort of at least a better climate in society than we have right now.
Which we had before.
That.
Which we had before. We've done it before. We can do it again.
When?
1994, we banned federal guns with a bipartisanship bill. We can do it again.
That was before the internet.
I hear you. And she kind of ruined my point. Coming up on DBL, our interview with the one, the only, Dolly Parton. Yes, we're chatting all about everything from her iconic style to how her nails actually played a big part in working 9 to 5.
DBL, this show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point. But I'm gonna have a conversation about what's happening now. Do you guys want to hear a joke?
Yes.
Okay, ready? A pastor, a priest, and a rabbit went into a blood bank, and they asked each thing, what their blood type was, and the rabbit says, "I think I'm a type O," because he should be a rabbi.
That's kind of good. I like that. Okay.
I heard that one already from you.
I like that.
You've heard me. I was like, "Go away, Chris."
I wanted to ask Erica.
It's a good one though.
Like, am I being Tori and Erica? Am I being overly negative by I don't think that we're going to come together. I don't know if that's totally a bad thing.
No, I think that it's something that someone like me struggles with, because if you're going to have an investment in the future in any way, then you have to believe that your investment is going to be meaningful. Like, I'm 42, I don't have kids, I'm on this IVF journey. Why am I bringing a child
That's how
and
I totally
actually investing and bringing a child into this world if I believe that it's going to end tomorrow? Yeah. If I really believe that, everyone is going to be in a civil war, like, why would I do that? So I think there's like a realist idea, and then there's like a more nuanced idea of like things have never been 100% unified.
Yeah. I get that, but babies were born on slave ships. Babies were born as England was being bombed by the Germans.
But people weren't making concerted efforts and investing their time and resources and dollars into making this happen. That's a totally different thing.
I'm just saying there's always been chaos.
But
so
right,
the idea
but I'm
of, I
saying
think I
the
want to adapt to it
choice.
rather than hope.
But would you adapt to short like
ideally, I hope you're right.
But I think what I'm saying is, in my situation, that's more than just deciding to have a child.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, we sat down with one of the most honored and revered female singer-songwriters of all time. Not only is she a Lifetime Achievement Award winner, she has donated more than 200 million books to children for free through her Imagination Library. And we got to hear all about her newest book, Billy the Kid Makes It Big. Check out our conversation with the one, the only, Dolly Parton.
Well, thank you. Hello. Hi, and this is Billy. This is Billy the Kid,
Billy the
buddy.
Kid. And Billy is this the exact same dog that inspired your book?
Absolutely. He's my god dog, see? Look, we're going to show him our book, right? Anyway, it's called Billy the Kid Makes It Big. But yeah, he's the one. He's my little god dog. I've known him since he was just a baby. We just decided we should write a book together, and so we did.
Well, speaking of that book, Billy the Kid Makes It Big. Dolly, I got to ask, it helps kids understand how harmful bullying can be. Why is this topic so important for you to write about personally?
This book kind of covers a lot of things like bullying, and of course I was bullied a lot as a child because we were very poor and we didn't have good clothes, and that's where my little coat of many colors came from, being bullied about a little ragged coat mama made for me. But it also has like how to build your confidence, and it's about friendship and how to just keep on keeping on with your dreams and making them come true. So there's a lot of things in here that I think kids need to know about or to deal with their feelings. But it's beautifully done and beautifully illustrated. And Billy plays the guitar, so it's kind of, I had to bring a little music in there.
Wow.
I actually write a lot of songs for kids. And this one was based on one of my little kids' songs called Making Fun Ain't Funny. And it's about the bullying.
Oh my gosh, Dolly,
I
we know
love that.
Dolly, we know Making
that
Fun
song.
We
isn't
know
funny.
that song, and we also know
We
that
love that song.
books and reading are such a big part of your legacy. Over 200 million books gifted through your imagination library. How did your dad influence you when it comes to giving literacy to people?
Well, thank you for asking that. That's really why I started the Imagination Library, because my own dad couldn't read and write, as so many people around the country can't do, and a lot of people don't talk about it. But my dad was, he was such a smart man, such a good daddy, and such a hard worker. But he seemed to, that just seemed to trouble him. So I got the idea to start a program where my daddy could help me with it. And he took such great pride, and he got such a kick out of hearing the kids call me the book lady after the Imagination Library was up and running. And so my dad lived long enough to see it doing really well, and I take such pride in knowing that I can link that to my dad. I'm sure my dad's sitting up there somewhere saying, "You go, girl." Good for us.
I got to be honest with you. I just wanted to take a moment and again say 200 million books you were given away is unbelievable. And while we're on the topic of books, you're releasing another one in October about your passion for fashion called Behind the Seams, My Life in Rhinestones. I know you've been asked by several people, including Barbara Walters, about how did you develop your distinct Dolly style? And I just want to hear your answer because I love that you are deliberate about it.
Well, I just like flash and God. I have a very outgoing personality, and I can't get enough color. That old joke or that old saying of less is more, when everybody says, I guess with good taste, and I say, that's the biggest crock I ever heard. More is more, and I want more. But anyway, it goes back, and in that particular book that's coming out soon, it really kind of just has my life in clothes. We had my life in song with the book that was out before. So this is telling stories about what was going on in my life at the time, who designed them, and my thoughts about fashion or lack of. I just never thought of myself as being so fashionable as just wearing what I like to wear. And I got some good people that's tried to class me up a little bit, but I have a way of kind of screwing that up. If I can, I'll wear the wrong shoes because I like them with a beautiful dress. So I'm just one of those people that I just like to wear what I'm comfortable in. But I have got some beautiful clothes that I've worn throughout the years, and people like to see that, and they like to hear the stories about it.
Those looks, as you said, are iconic because Behind the Seams will cover those exact Dolly fashion moments, including, and we saw already some previews, the bunny suit. Love. You wore that on the cover of Playboy, which, by the way, you relived on your hubby's birthday.
Hot, Dolly.
Very hot, I know. Now my husband's like, okay, what are you going to do for me? So what's the best birthday gift you've ever given him?
That's probably one of them. He was so shocked, when I walked in my bunny suit and served him breakfast, on the tray and everything. Of course, he's, he always thinks I'm pretty whether I am or not. Aww. But when I pull little tricks like that, he loved that. So he thought that was great. So I'm always trying to do stuff, fun stuff like that. And he hadn't been feeling good during that time. So I was trying to do something, make him laugh and make him feel better, and that did the trick.
That did it.
That woke him up.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. So, Dolly, what a treat it is to have you here. DBL Nation, do not go anywhere because Dolly is sticking around. We'll be right back.
Today we are asking a simple question with an important answer, especially if you want to see little guys like these grow up to be big and strong. How do you plant a tree?
We turn to these sources to verify the steps. First, pick a spot to plant. The USDA advises that should be at least 3 feet from pavement or fencing, 15 feet from buildings or other trees, and 25 feet from overhead electrical wires if you're planting something that'll grow tall. Research expected size plus soil and light requirements of a tree before you plant it. Our experts all recommend picking plants native to the region so they have the best chance of survival. The University of Maryland Extension Office says smaller, younger plants will establish themselves and begin to grow faster than trees that are more mature when you plant them. This step is important. Locate underground utilities before digging to keep yourself and your neighbors safe. Call 811 to schedule an inspection at least 2 days before digging. It's free and it's required by law. Clear to dig in? The Arbor Day Foundation instructs shoveling a hole about 3 times as wide as the tree's root ball, but not too deep. The root flare, where the trunk curves out into roots, should be at or slightly above ground level. UMD advises watering the root ball and the planting area the day before putting the tree in the ground, if possible, to keep everything hydrated. Our experts also recommend a layer of mulch covering as far as the branches reach and regular watering to help the tree get established and grow.
If you have some trees already in the ground that need some love, we have all sorts of resources and verified information on our website right now.
With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back to DBL. We're continuing our conversation with author and philanthropist Dolly Parton. Watch.
Tori and I are a little bit
We're a little
like,
verklempt,
it's
okay, Dolly?
It's tough. It's
We're
tough
a little
up here.
verklempt.
Jeff
I'm
and I are just holding it in.
Yeah.
I'm more impressed that Billy could play the guitar, to be quite honest with you.
I know. I put the little guitar. My first little guitar was a little Martin that I had, and so I kind of wanted that to represent my little Martin guitar that I started writing and singing when I was a little girl. My Uncle Lewis
he gave you that
had given me Martin guitar, so I wanted Billy to play the guitar.
Play the Martin. So, Dolly, we heard the cutest video of first graders recreating 9 to 5 using facts about you. Have you seen this? We're gonna play this. Let's just take a look, Dolly.
Barely 10 years old, she don't write it produced since she was always kind. Was dreaming, and she got famous. Spread love and kindness, 9 to 5.
How do you feel about the kids loving you and knowing a whole new generation are Dolly Parton lovers?
Well, I've always loved the fact that I've had a big following with the kids, which makes it all the more important when I get to write books like Billy the Kid and his big adventure, making it big. But I love it when kids love to, dress up like me or tell my life story. They get a lot out of that too, I think, just knowing, it's kind of like a Cinderella story in my life.
Absolutely.
And I think they enjoy seeing that you can come from anywhere and you can, you don't have to have money to be rich. You got to be rich and, in love and acceptance and understanding and all those wonderful qualities that we all should strive to have. But when the little kids, have fun with me and through the songs that I write, then that makes me feel happy.
Well, like
and
the
Billy, he feels good too.
Like the kid said in the song, Dolly, you've been spreading love and kindness in a world with so much divisiveness. Did you ever think your song with Miley, Rainbow Land, would get banned by a school district? Literally, they can't play it.
No, I didn't think about that, because like I say, I'm all about books and kids, and I even have a book through the Imagination Library called I Am a Rainbow.
Yep.
And it's about all the moods of children, the pink being, being in the pink and being blue, feeling bad, jealousy and yellow, being a coward, being a scaredy cat. So anyway, when we wrote the song, it was just about, accepting people and loving everybody for who they are. It was just really a beautiful little song, like living in paradise, living in kind of like heaven on earth is what it was about. So, but no, I never never knew that, so I didn't make comment. I know who I am, where I stand, and everybody that knows me knows that I love and accept everybody for who and what they are. I got enough problems of my own to try to deal with somebody else's.
Amen. Well, we got to stay on the topic of your goddaughter, Miley Cyrus. She called you the world's most impeccably purposeful walking contradiction. Would you say that's true to who you are?
I don't know. I don't even know what all she meant by that, but I just said, I'm some of everything. I'm some of whatever I need to be in the moment.
That's a great answer. Okay, so Dolly, what can you tell us about the museum coming to Dollywood next year? Will it be an immersive experience of your life specifically?
Well, it will. In fact, they've put a lot of time, effort, and money into making that perfect. And then I will be walking through, telling the stories about all the stuff. Of course, they'll have me there technically, but I'll be telling all the stories and talking about all the things. And it's really going to be a great experience. And what's really good about it, it's scattered all over the park. It's just not in just a building, although there is that as well. But it's going to be something I'm going to be very proud of, and I really, really think it's going to be an adventure for the people that go through it, and I know the fans are going to love it. So thanks for asking about that.
Can I just ask you one last question before we go? We got to set the record straight. Is it really true you lost a Dolly Parton lookalike contest to someone else? And also, is 9 to 5 really the beginning? Your acrylic nails, Miss Parton?
Actually, yes. Can you hear this? I got it down.
Yes.
But yeah, it sounds like a typewriter, and I actually used my nails when I was writing the song, and so I just kind of on the set every day, and then I'd go back into my dressing room, get the guitar, or back home at night and work it. But and then I played my nails on the actual song. Actually, there's music and other typewriter sound on that, but it says on the credits "Nails" by Dolly Parton, which I thought was funny. But yes, it's true that I lost a Dolly Parton lookalike. Hate to bring up a sore subject, but it was a bunch of drag queens that were dressed like me. And so I just dressed over-exaggerated myself, and that was down on Santa Monica, the place where I used to live. And on Halloween, my hairdresser and I said, wouldn't it be funny just to go down there, because whoever wins, they just get free drinks for the night. So when they started marching all these 6-foot drag queens across the stage, I just hopped up there and kind of walked across, and I got just a little trickle of it. Who is that? And so I always said I lost the Dolly lookalike contest, and I really did in that particular thing, but that's what that was about.
Dolly, you're
But think about the credit that drag queen now has.
I know, bravo to that drag queen.
Right, you're right. Exactly. Dolly, thank you so much for being here. And you too, Billy, you too. You can pick up DBL Nation, you can pick up a copy of Dolly Parton's Billy the Kid Makes It Big, which is out now everywhere books are sold, and pre-order your very own copy of Behind the Seams, My Life in Rhinestones, coming out this October. We can't wait. Thank you, Dolly, for all that you do.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Bye, Billy.
State houses are back in session, and one issue on the table in multiple states, the death penalty. Washington officially banned it, while Florida made it easier to sentence someone to death. And one question that often comes up in the debate over this issue, does the death penalty save the state money compared to life imprisonment? So let's verify. Our sources are the Death Penalty Information Center, Philip Cook, a professor emeritus at Duke, a report by the Judicial Conference of the United States, and several academic studies. Nearly all death sentences are handed down by state courts. Over the last few decades, numerous state agencies and academic researchers have looked into this question, and every study and report we found said the same thing. The death penalty costs more than life in prison. There are several reasons for that. First, as soon as a prosecutor decides to seek the death penalty, the trial becomes longer and more complicated. It usually requires extra attorneys, lots of expert witnesses, and a jury specially selected to handle a capital case. A detailed study by Duke University estimated that between 2005 and 2006 in North Carolina, the attorney and expert fees for a capital trial averaged over $116,000. That's almost 10 times more than a non-capital murder trial, which averages about $18,600. And that's regardless of the outcome.
Most cases in which the death penalty is sought don't result in an execution. And when I say most, I mean overwhelmingly most.
Second, if someone does get sentenced to die, executions don't happen right away.
If we tried them and took them out and strung them up, like in a 1870s cow town, then yeah, that would be a money saver. But the courts so far won't allow that to happen, and nobody really wants it to happen.
They get put on death row, which per year costs the same or more than a life sentence at a maximum security prison. And that brings us to point number 3. Prisoners usually stay on death row a long time. The average is nearly 19 years, in part because there are a lot of appeals.
What's happened is that the time between sentencing and execution has gotten so long, it's like a life sentence anyhow.
Death row inmates have access to tiers of appeals other inmates don't, since courts are extremely wary of executing the wrong person. State Supreme Courts and even the U.S. Supreme Court may agree to hear the case, a near impossibility for a non-capital murder case.
When courts get these things, they slow down a little bit and say, this is a death penalty case. I'm going to allow this hearing. I'm going to have a second hearing. I want to hear this witness who recanted.
And the state often pays for the lawyers to argue those appeals. If the execution does happen, that's pricey too. In North Carolina, the Duke study estimated each execution costs the state just over $16,000. And those numbers could be low. Documents obtained by the ACLU show that 5 federal executions in 2020 cost nearly $1 million each, counting staffing, training, travel, and locking down the facility. The North Carolina study estimated that from trial to execution, the state spends nearly $2 million more on each death penalty case than it would if those same cases were for life in prison. So we can verify, no. Research suggests the death penalty does not save money compared to life in prison. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. After a long winter, your yard might need a little extra TLC. So what needs to be done to prep your yard for a vibrant comeback this summer? Here's how to do it with Sunsetter. So now is a good time to treat your yard with fertilizer to give it a boost of nutrients. Also, spot treat your weeds with Weed Killer. Don't spray your entire lawn. Afterwards, treat yourself to the view with Sunsetter. With affordable custom features without the custom price, Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning. Spend more time outside and get the best value with Sunsetter. It's been an industry leader for 30 years. Call 1-800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings built to last. Excuse me, I love a good awning. I know that came out weird, but I do have to say this before we go. We've got a story about a 7th grader named Dylan Reeves. Y'all have to see this. He's being hailed a hero. He was on his way home after school in Michigan. Check this out. His school bus driver experiences a medical emergency, passes out while driving. Dylan runs into action, grabs the steering wheel, and brought the school bus to a stop in the middle of the road. Then he told his classmates, call 911. The bus was full, and thanks to his action, everyone was okay. What a guy, Dylan!
How calm was that kid?
Dylan Reeves.
It looks like he practiced that every day. I mean,
and it's a bus. It's hard to find the brake pedal as a normal human.
That's the kind of thing where I think companies need to like find kids like that and like scout them, and like he's destined to do something special.
Kids are normal
humans too.